Hello people, this is a special video about the COVID-19 pandemic. As you can see on screen, I've got the basics and everyone should be concerned about the 2 to 14 days before you could potentially get any reaction to this nasty virus going around. The first thing I'd like to point out to people is this: hypochondriac. Generally, it does affect a few people to the point where they struggle with life. But in these days, because we're being pushed with the symptoms of this virus, and it's human behavior that we start looking for these symptoms of the COVID-19, and therefore you can become a bit too paranoid about thinking that you've got those symptoms. So just bear that in mind, step back from thinking that you've got it straight away and just leave it for a few hours, and if you still feel the same after, say, a few hours or you know, over a period of say 5 hours, if you still feel exactly the same as you did at the beginning, then there is a chance you've got it. But I just want to go through a few points what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm not claiming to have any medical certificates or anything like that. This is just what I'm doing. I've looked around, I've took all the information in, and you know, the one thing that is going around more than the virus is panicking. Panic buying is more contagious than the virus is, and it's just like, stop doing it. You're making a more chaos out of already a chaotic situation and people panicking. The one key thing to remember is 98% of people will recover from this. Yeah, they may get ill, they may find it really difficult, because a lot of people have. You know, it's a really strong dose of the flu symptoms and illness. So but you know, we've got to be careful, because at the same time there's around 2% of the population throughout every country that is going to have a very bad reaction to this. Well, they say between 1 to 2% now. At the beginning it was less than 1% mortality rate, now is between 1 to 2%. Whether or not governments are telling us the exact truth in that, who knows. Being from the UK, I tend to trust the World Health Organization, because they're not linked to any real government, so they haven't got no political will. They are just a group of experts in their fields coming to the conclusion of what is best for this virus, and all these things you see on screen now is pretty much the best way, one, to prevent it, two, to understand how long it can take to come to actually start affecting you as an individual, and then three, the symptoms. But as I said before, don't get paranoid in thinking you've got the symptoms, because that can make you ill just as much as the virus, probably, if you're constantly. And I'm not saying this because I'm pretty much doing the same. I'm constantly thinking, well, have I got it? Because the thing is, as a person, you don't want to go outside and start talking to people and passing it around. But at the same time, if you've got up to 14 days before you show any symptoms, how are you meant to work that, you know? Especially in the UK, where we haven't got a leadership that's in charge, they're just moping along. You know, some countries has got a strong leadership, they're being told what to do, and yeah, it can be a bit dictatorship-like, but at least you've got direction, at least you've got leadership that you feel you could trust. In the UK, we've just got our Boris government, the Conservative, just saying, do what you want, but only if it's essential, mind. And it's like, come on. But let me get on to the 5 things that I'm doing myself to try and stop this. So the first thing I do is what they've all said, and you can see it on there: wash your hands with soapy water. Preferably when you come back home, always wash your hands when you come back home. And the second one is if you touch the money. This applies in any country. If you've just touched coins or notes, cash, any form of cash, I would fully recommend that you go and wash your hands. Because money is one of the biggest carriers of disease of any type, all types of viruses and flus. It does tend to attract money purely because money is being transferred to loads of people in a short period of time, especially at the moment with people bulk buying stupid amounts of food when there's no need. Number two, with me, I'm meant to take a brain inhaler every day. Generally, I only take it when I'm recovering from the flu or cold. But obviously, in these extreme situations with the pandemic everywhere, I'm starting to take that every day now, and I would recommend anyone in my position where you don't take your inhaler every day, but you feel, oh, well, I'll take it when I'm recovering from an illness. I would recommend you start taking it every day now. Also, I do breathing exercises. So one of the things that I've been reading again and again on loads of different websites is this particular COVID-19. It likes to stay at the back of your throat, between your nose and the back of your throat. So one thing I've been doing, and I've read it by other people, is taking nice deep breaths, as much air as you can get in your lungs, and then breathing back out through your nose. So that is another good exercise to do. I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, obviously. Just do it a couple of times throughout the day. That brings me on to the same thing with gargling salty water once every morning. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time because it can actually cause problems in itself if you're doing it all the time, constantly, But these little things can help avoid you getting the COVID-19. The other thing is, obviously, if you've got a health tracker, that is very beneficial, especially if you've got a lot of data on it, because you will have your resting heart rate every day, and that would be a key indicator when you get an infection. So if you start seeing your resting heart rate going out of the normal area for you as an individual, resting heart rate, then potentially be a bit concerned about that, and maybe try and up your vitamin C a little bit more. And as I said earlier, all this panicking, when we panic we make stupid decisions, and that's everyone on the planet. Airline pilots are one of the key people that's got to learn not to panic, because when we panic we make stupid decisions. And an aircraft pilot, if he makes one stupid decision when he's flying because of something going wrong, he's going to crash that plane. Obviously it's not that bad panicking for over COVID-19, but the symptoms are exactly the same. We panic, and that panic over hours and hours and hours can start to build up, and then people goes out and buys loads of shopping when they don't need to. Think about other people at this time, because there's going to be 2% of every population that's going to act badly to this virus and potentially lose their life. So just bear that in mind. I've pretty much covered everything that I do, and I hope everyone well, and just try and be sensible, and like in these times where we're just waiting 14 days before we feel bad, and then obviously you've got that condition I said, the hypochondriac system, that I think everyone now, because the news and everything's being banged at us about the symptoms, you can easily start picking up on one, like tiredness. Come on, tiredness. Everyone's tired at night if they've had a long day. Again, muscle pain. That could also. So you've got to be sensible and just take it over a period of say 5 hours and see how you feel after that. And if you feel better after that, then obviously you ain't got it. But I'll leave it there. If you've made it this far listening, thank you very much. As for people who like to watch my scratch cards, that's going up at Saturdays like normal. So hopefully, that's it really. Thanks for listening. Ta-da.